When you think super rare TF2 stuff, I don't know, you think golden pans, or maybe some certain unusuals. Or that Randolph the Blood-Nosed Caribou hat that has only one existence. But those are all garbage, they're worthless. I could get a golden pan in real life for like 20 bucks. And I bet it even turns people into gold if you kill them with it. Yet people will still pay like $3,000 for a golden pan in TF2. So maybe they're not worthless if people are paying that much real world money for them, but those items in TF2 are essentially artificially rare. They're not real things, and some are just rarer than others because the people working on TF2 wanted them to be. Obviously it generates interest in items if some are rarer than others, and there's a purpose to it, but the point is that it wouldn't take much to suddenly add and distribute 1,000 more Randolphs into the game just because you feel like it. But when it comes to real world stuff, it's not that simple. Who would have guessed? And it's that real world TF2 stuff that's become really interesting to me. In fact, collecting TF2 merch has become a bit of an obsession for me over the past year, if you couldn't tell already. At the start of the year, I only had one of these. And so yeah, Valve is kind of weird about the way they do merch. Outside of the current stuff available on the store, which is made to order, in the past they very rarely promoted any of it. It's been made and distributed by various different sources, and once they're gone, they're usually gone for good. And TF2 has gotten quite a bit of merchandise over the years. From what I've seen, it has a significant amount more than any other Valve game. But advertisement and consistency aren't exactly their strong suits, so I certainly wouldn't blame anybody for not knowing the extent of it. Around 2014 and 2015 especially saw a big influx of random little TF2 accessories when Valve partnered with the company A Crowded Coop to make things like the portable mercs, TF2 keycaps, wrapping paper, mugs, pins, and stuff like that. Mostly a bunch of little things. But there are those three rarer portable merc figures, being the Balloonicorn Pyro, the Clear Spy, and the Gold Engineer, but that Balloonicorn Pyro is not actually rare at all. I mean, I even have two of them. And the Engineer and Spy, while rarer, aren't that rare in the grand scheme of things. Most of the stuff made by A Crowded Coop is actually on the easier side to get a hold of, and even that can be a pain, so some of the other stuff is near impossible. So we're gonna go down the rabbit hole of TF2 merch for a bit. What else is there? There's this limited edition Racing Series TF2 jacket. It's limited edition apparently. And I actually managed to get the red version, though I have seen the blue version for sale as well. It's an official TF2 licensed product, but when it was for sale originally and who made it, I couldn't tell you. How many were made and what was it limited to? I also couldn't tell you. But it says limited edition, so it must be limited edition. There's essentially no information out there about this. In fact, when you look it up, the first image in images is the picture I posted on my Twitter. So it must be fairly rare. I've only ever seen two for sale. But clothes do get worn out over time, and there's been a bunch of discontinued TF2 clothing items. Some pretty cool stuff, but nothing really too eye-catching to me. Though I do think the Saxon Hale shirt is pretty cool. And yeah, the thing with shirts though is if you wear them, they're gonna get worn out over time. A Force of Nature shirt ordered from the Scout update in 2009 probably isn't looking so good these days. But most of these discontinued designs could pretty easily be recreated on some sort of shirt-making website, I'm sure. So while it wouldn't be the original, there is still some way to technically get it. But the original ones are probably very rare to get in good condition. Kind of like the old discontinued phone cases. Though you could also probably recreate those for more modern devices too. Again, official versions of these shirts and phone cases are probably very rare at this point, but not necessarily worth all that much. Of course, just because something isn't worth much doesn't mean it's not rare. I know I've talked about them before, but I got these TF2 greeting cards and Saxon Hale postcards for dirt cheap, and I would still personally consider them to be one of the TF2 merchandise holy grails. Which sounds really stupid to say, but still. The chances of finding these near perfect quality pieces of paper from 2009 actively being sold anywhere are exceedingly slim. I only have Series 2 of the Tf2 Christmas cards, but as I mentioned in the video showing these off for the first time, they're so rare that the wiki doesn't even have high quality pictures of them. I can't really say how sought after these are because when I bought them it was at an auction and no one else bid besides me. I mean, they're very rare, but not exactly something people are really looking for, I guess. But they're cool to me, man! And I gave them each their own little comic holder thing to keep them nice and safe. And speaking of pieces of paper, I wonder if anyone saved their Saxon Hale letter that he sent you if you sent in the Force Nature order form. That would be really cool to see. I have no idea how many of those are in existence, but I imagine they would be worth a decent amount if anyone sold them. But if you're just looking at pure price value, then the most expensive pieces of official TF2 merch are still probably the Gaming Head statues and the 3A Robot Heavy and Pyro figures, both of which sell for around $200 to $400. But the Gaming Head statues aren't rare so much as they are just expensive. That is, all of them except for Sniper. The company gaming heads made statues of Heavy, Soldier, Engineer, Medic, and Sniper, all in limited quantities. Heavy and Soldier are very easy to find, Medic and Engineer can be harder to find, and Sniper is impossible to find. All 4 versions have long since sold out on the original store. And I have no idea why. It's not like Sniper is the most iconic of all those classes, or he's significantly more popular than the other 4. I just don't know. The Sniper statues are so rare that I even have a pact with my best friend, who happens to be a filthy Sniper main himself, that if we see one for sale, we'll split the cost and buy it. And I actually saw a used one on eBay not too long ago. It was being sold in the Netherlands for 400 euros without its original box. It was up for maybe like 6 or so hours before being taken down. Not listed as sold, just taken down, and it was never put back up, so that's pretty weird. I've also seen people try to sell unpainted production versions of the gaming head statues. There was one gray medic that the person was trying to sell for $25,000, and that was up on eBay for a long time. It's no longer up, but I can't imagine it sold for that much. I've even also had some people on Discord show off their prototype figures that they got. One of them managed to get the Heavy statue, and the other got the Heavy action figure. Very, very cool stuff, possibly one of a kind. Another TF2 statue that may very well be rarer than the Sniper one is the Ghost of Zephaniah Man statue, also made by 3A. I had no clue this even existed until earlier this year. And this one they even directly advertised on the blog back in 2014. But the only way I found out about it was seeing one show up on eBay, and I believe that one was being sold from Thailand. They initially tried to sell it using an image which was taken directly from Google Images, then briefly took down the listing and put it back up with this. This one definitely has some kind of sun damage or something. It doesn't really look the way it should. Yet it still sold for like 250 bucks, and fast too. So there's definitely some people out there looking for this one. Interestingly, there are very few images of this statue available online, and there are no videos reviewing it or nothing. So if anyone out there happens to have this statue, make a video showing it off, because you'd be the only one. I would actually really like to see that. And it's actually one of relatively few TF2 things to not feature any of the main characters, but that's also what makes it cool. Plus it lights up. Or so they say, I've never seen it in action. So now we gotta start placing bets on which shows up on eBay first, the Ghost statue or the Sniper statue. But realistically, if I had to guess, I would probably say that those 2 statues, unopened and in mint condition, are probably the TF2 products most valuable in terms of rarity. And possibly even the most in terms of monetary value too. Well, at least in terms of things that I'm aware of. There's so much stuff spread out over so many years that there might be something I'm missing. There might be a few small things that are rarer in terms of numbers, but probably not worth as much as those statues. And even then, those statues aren't worth as much as a golden pan would be. But to me, they're cooler than a golden pan. Not that I would turn down a golden pan, but I would rather have the statues. But I could sell the golden pan to buy the statues, so I guess I would go with that if someone was offering me. Quick, someone offer me a golden pan, I'll take it. But there is actually one more thing that I remember seeing a bunch of around 2014 and 2015, that era. There are no pictures of it on the TF2 Wiki merch section, so I had to search a little bit for it, and I wasn't crazy, they did sell an Atomizer Prop at one point. Of course, any of the stores that previously sold them have long run out, but I guess a foam atomizer is pretty dang rare. And it's not like I've seen them and they're just out of the price range I was willing to pay for them. I have never seen one. Ever. I've seen old bonk cups, inflatable balloonicorns, Archimedes, hats, posters. I have never seen an atomizer. So maybe that's rarer than the Zephaniah statue. Maybe that's the rarest thing. A foam bat. You could probably make your own out of a real bat, but it's not the same. It's about the principle of it. But if you have any of this stuff, or just want to show off your TF2 merch collection on my Discord, feel free. I'm interested to see what people have, and yeah. This was another relatively quick video that I've wanted to make to kind of take you through my experience in collecting real-world TF2 stuff over the past year plus, and things that I may never get my hands on. I know videos like this are kind of on the niche side when it comes to TF2 topics, so it's not for everybody, but it's something I've been having a lot of fun with, so I'll make a video on it every now and then. And plus, this video was sponsored, which helps me buy even more junk. Sponsored yet again by Skillshare, the online learning community. I was just looking up some classes about collecting things and found this one about the art of collecting fragrances, like cologne and stuff. So hey, if that's what you're into, collecting things is cool. But if you're into more practical creative stuff, there's also classes for things like illustration, graphic design, and drawing, among many other things, and there are thousands of classes. Millions maybe! Probably not millions, but there are a whole lot. And there's new ones all the time. You know the deal. Skillshare is made just for learning, with no ads, and is less than $10 a month with the annual subscription. But you guessed it, the first 1,000 people to go to the link in the description will get a free trial of the premium membership. It doesn't get any cheaper than free, so go check it out. And of course, aside from the sponsor, I gotta give a big thanks to my patrons like Varric, Captain Forex, Egox, Dex, Zero Attention, Probably Vinegar, Gaponicus, Kelso the Pirate, Pillsman's Fox, Kybrid96, and Scout with a Name. Alright, now we're done. Peace out, dogs.